sitting there and enjoying it and going, wow, if we could just string that out for maybe another, I don't know, 8.5 minutes, we can go right to commercial break. It'd be the easiest damn job on the planet. JD here. Good to have you on board. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks, as always, for taking some of your time to spend it with us here on the program, where we like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, our politics a little messy. Marcelo working the dials, Brad producing the program, emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Poll question up there for you today. California voters are being asked to approve a $1 a pack increase in the cigarette tax. Government officials and proponents say the $735 million they're going to raise will only go to finance cancer research. What do you say to that? Nobody says, I believe they're telling the truth. 5% say, I believe they have the best intentions, and 95% say, I know they're lying. You can answer it there at the website or here at 800-876-4123 on the program, where intellectual anarchy is encouraged and nurtured for. Now, who these 5%? Who these idiots? They believe they have the best intentions. Are these the people that respond to those Nigerian emails and go, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my bank account was drained and my car wasn't in the driveway anymore. All they asked for was my name, my social security number, my bank routing numbers. The next note, there it was. It was all gone, $12.83. Now what am I going to do? I believe they have the best intentions. They can't. They're politicians and proponents of $735 million in additional taxes. I was looking at this story over the weekend, trying to avoid most of the insanity that's out there. That would be mostly cable news and newspapers and the internet and television and carrier pigeon and strings and cups. Anything that would pretty much bring to me the news of the day. Obviously, the follow-through on the stock market, not good again today. The news about the economy and jobs, not good. And the finger-pointing over the weekend was I listened to one he said, she said, and then I went for the response of the she said, what he said about what he said, and then, oh, did you hear what he said about that? And everybody's just pointing fingers, blaming each other, and somehow it seems like something got done. So instead of pulling an Elvis and taking out a high-powered weapon and destroying a 60-inch flat screen, I decided the best thing that I could possibly do was to turn my attention elsewhere and try and find things out there in the news that might be more on a grander scale, so to speak, or why it is what we're seeing, and why it is they're saying what they're saying. And when I look at this whole nut job, whack job parade that's taking place, it's really, in and of itself, you might say, the 16-ounce cap on the size of Slurpees is one thing, or it's the tax for this is another, or it's the they said this about jobs. It all really gets down to a fundamental transformation that we're looking at right now in the country. It's the makers and the takers. That's really it. And it's what the role of government's supposed to be in people's lives. You know, when we look at this whole Mayor Bloomberg, did you see the people that came out defending this guy? Mr. I want to control every nook and cranny of your life, Bloomberg out of New York City. They're all going, well, you see, this is really important because it's not really about the size of the soda. It's not really about the sugary drink. And it's not even whether it works or not. It's all about how we have to take a look at what this all means down the road. And what this all means down the road is what is going on right now. This is this shift where we're going from a nation of risk takers, a nation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, people who believe that I have the right to succeed and fail, that not everybody gets the corner office, not everybody gets the primo parking spot, not everybody gets what everybody else gets. But we're going towards this very critical period where it's all about, well, I want it. I don't necessarily think I have to work for it, but somehow the government owes it to me. And these are all opportunities for these absolute lunatics to start showing up and trying to control every aspect of our lives. Cigarette tax. Stupid habit. Got it. I'm a member of the I'm Stupid Club because I light things on fire and breathe it into my lungs. Most people see a burning building and, wow, those people should get out of there. Firemen, they go, no, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take those people out of there because they shouldn't be in there. Smokers, they see the burning building. They walk in, go to the top floor where all the smokers. Oh, I'm home. This is great. I know it's dumb. But it's not just about the cigarette tax. Because when you look at how this happens over time, the creeping incrementalism of government, they're going to start with the low-hanging fruit. They're going to go after cigarettes. They're going to go after booze. They're going to go after gambling. And then you go, well, okay, we got that. Then we're going to go after trans fats. Well, I guess we can make a case for that. And then what are we going to go after? Well, then we're going to go after sugar. Oh, okay. Then what are we going to go after? Slurpees, 16-ounce, 42-ounce, 64-ounce, whatever. But you know what's next up on the list? Cheeseburgers. I kid you not. One of these lunatic big government involvers in our lives just said, well, let's take a look at this whole thing. Let's take a look at this whole thing with the size of the drinks. And this whole notion of what government is and isn't and what it should and shouldn't do. They said, now let's take a look at cheeseburgers. And I'm thinking, sooner or later, this has got to get somebody's attention. I've been trying to get people's attention on this for 8 years that I've been on the radio, is that they're coming after you. Do you understand that? Do you think there's anything out there that big government ideologues don't think that they have a right to control? Is there any aspect of your life? Is there anything that you think that they would never go there? Hit me with the answer on that at 800-876-4123. Is there anything that's sacred? Anything that's off limits? Anything you go, oh, no, they didn't? Well, they're doing it. They go with cigarettes. Demonize those people. Evil smokers. Then they go with drinkers. Demonize them. Then they go with gamblers. Then it's trans fats. Then it's donuts. Then it's, what, sugary drinks? Now it's cheeseburgers. What comes after cheeseburgers? Burgers? What comes after burgers? The buns that the burgers are on? This is this whole notion of where government's role in our lives is rolling us up and taking away our opportunity to make our own decisions for ourselves. And people are just sitting there going, oh, it's Obama, or it's Romney, or it's the Republicans, or it's the Democrat. And in the meanwhile, our personal rights, freedoms, responsibilities, government limitations are all just getting completely bass-ackwards in looking at what it is their job is and what our responsibilities are, and never the two should meet. It's not their responsibility. It's not their job. They don't have the constitutional powers to tell us what it is we can and can't do. Those are the things we're supposed to decide for ourselves. And in California, with this cigarette tax, $1 a pack, can you hear all the tools out there in the audience just going, why don't you just make it $10 a pack? Because it's a stupid habit. People just smoke cigarettes. We use that money for other things. And it's secondhand smoke. It gets through to it. Shut up, will you? Shut up. Because sooner or later they're going to come for your bean sprouts and your Pilates. I guarantee you. They're going to, somehow, right, they're going to go, don't you think that's a lot of bean sprouts on your sandwich? If there's a bean sprout within 500 miles of a sandwich made for me in a delicatessen, I'll know it. Because that taste permeates the air. I get secondhand bean sprout gag reflex when I walk into a place that tries to serve me a healthy alternative to a corned beef on rye. So the cigarette tax, it used to be very popular with this attempt to get voters in California to put another $1 per pack tax on top of the cigarette tax that already exists. Now, California hasn't raised the cigarette taxes since 1998. They used to have the toughest cigarette taxes in the country. But then what happens? They start it, so goes California, so goes the rest of the country. And then all these do-gooders start coming out of the woodwork. Oh, really? They play this game of, can you top that? So now we have other states that are now out-taxing California in an attempt to be the leaders on this. Now, this new tax is supposed to raise $735 million. And all the money, they say, is going to finance cancer research. That is a $47 million advertising battle that's taking place. Keep aside for a moment. Put it aside if you can compartmentalize. This isn't about cigarettes. This is about people in government that want to control your life. And if you can make the distinction between those two, then you'll understand how important these kind of decisions are and these kind of initiatives are and what kind of long-term ramifications they're going to have. $47 million in advertising. So the proponents of this say it's all going to go to finance cancer research. You wouldn't be against that, would you, Jerry? No, I actually wouldn't be. If I actually thought it was going to go to finance cancer research. But in California, as you know, we talked about it last week on the program, they're selling 9/11 commemorative license plates that's supposed to fund scholarships for children of victims of 9/11 2001. They still collect $90 a year from 220,000 people who have the license plates in California that say, we will never forget. There's only one problem. is they stopped funding the scholarships back in 2005. They discontinued the program. They've raised over $15 million, and $21,831 actually went to scholarships. And now they're saying we're going to raise another $735 million, and all of that money is going to go to cancer research. 30 times in California they've attempted to raise the taxes. 30 times in 30 years, they've been shot down. The measure used to have 70% support to any time it came to raise taxes on cigarettes. Now, the number's down to 53. And according to this dim bulb Democrat, he says, well, basically, this is unbelievable. He said, we've become such a damned anti-tax state that we've demonized any kind of tax. No, Mr. Tool. What we're hip to is the fact that if we recognize there's a need that has to be met, if there's something that has to be paid for, if there's a program that needs to be funded, if there's a child in need or a family in need or a cause that needs to be matched up with funds to tackle those issues, we step up because that's what we do each and every damn time. But we're also stepping up now and realizing you guys are full of crap because now we're hip to your game. And the game now with this $735 million in California, where California's been a leader and California's overdue in raising taxes, none of the $735 million, they say, is actually going to go to deficit reduction or anything like that because they did a poll on this, and they found out that it had a better chance of passing if they said all of the money would go to cancer research, if they said their only goal was to cut down on smoking. But if that were only true, maybe people out there might be inclined to pay the extra buck a pack tax so that we could actually put the money towards cancer research. Because in a certain way, if I paid $1 more for a pack of cigarettes in California, I'd be funding cancer research would help me when I get cancer. I mean, is that not worth $1 a pack every time you light up? But people now are hip to this Don Parada Democrat and all the other fools out there in government that are trying to Zoom us yet one more time. So they bring in the big nanny staters like Bloomberg. He puts $500,000 in. They bring in Lance Armstrong, cancer survivor. Okay, Lance, good for you. Cancer survivor, congratulations. I'm glad you're doing well. 7-time Tour de France champion. Kudos to you for that. But it's all just a giant game. It's a smokescreen. It's an illusion. It's Santorum. And as you know on this program, Santorum is code for BS.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Organizers of the tax have less of a chance of passing it if voters thought it would go to the state coffers for deficit reduction. And we're told the only way this will pass is if you said it would only be used for smoking. Now think about this. The LA Times is uncomfortable because they're siding with the tobacco industry and the California Republican Party in urging voters to defeat the tax because it's a tax, yet again, to nowhere. 800-876-4123 is the number. Is anything off limits where the government can't try to restrict your life? Hit me back. Jerry Doyle. Stick with me.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.